You make six figures and still feel broke. The paychecks grew, but nothing actually feels different inside. Your bank account looks like success on paper, yet Sunday night still arrives with that quiet tightness. You remember thinking this number would change everything. You imagine the ease, calm, a softer relationship with bills. Instead, the math feels tighter than ever. The bigger the income, the bigger the invisible weight underneath. By the end of this, you will see why. You will understand the treadmill and step off. This is not about budgeting harder than before. This is the quiet psychology underneath every raise. Let us start with the strangest part of it. The dream income now feels like a barely survivable baseline. You used to imagine one promotion fixing everything. It arrived, lifestyle expanded, and relief lasted 2 weekends. That is the treadmill nobody warned you about. You run faster, and the finish line politely moves away. 6 figures sounds like an arrival from outside. Inside, it is the moment the chase becomes invisible. Think about your very first real raise honestly. The thrill was huge, then quietly became your new baseline. That is the hedonic reset working perfectly. Your system adapts and demands the next upgrade to feel anything. The car you wanted becomes the car you drive. Soon you notice the newer model and the thrill disappears. The apartment you celebrated becomes the apartment you tolerate. The view stops registering. The square footage feels cramped. This is not weakness or ingratitude inside you. This is human wiring that the market learned to monetize. Now layer in the second engine running underneath. Every income jump recruits you into a new comparison tier. At $50,000, you compared yourself to coworkers. At $150,000, it is a different floor entirely. The reference group shifts faster than the income. You earn more and stand near people earning even more. Their normal becomes your aspiration without permission. Their vacations and renovations install themselves as your next milestones. You did not consciously choose any of this. It happened in conversations, feeds, and casual mentions of second homes. Then comes the third engine, the costume code. 6 figures comes with an unspoken dress code you feel. The clothes have to look the part now. The car has to read correctly in the school pickup line. The neighborhood has to quietly signal arrival. The vacations have to photograph well. The brunch spots must match. None of this is malicious from anyone involved. It is the pressure of looking like your salary means something. So the raise arrives and immediately gets assignments. Lease upgrade, gym, better groceries, gifts, the wedding you cannot decline. Each line item feels reasonable in isolation. Together they form a lifestyle that consumes the new income immediately. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is not a flaw. It is the predictable result of being human here. You are not bad with money at all. You are good at fitting in, and fitting in is expensive. Notice how invisible the small costs quietly become. Subscriptions and conveniences add up to thousands every single quarter. DoorDash dinners on the tired nights especially. The premium grocery run because the regular store feels beneath you. A nicer coffee setup now lives at home. A better mattress because sleep matters. None of it feels like spending. Then the bigger commitments lock in firmly around you. Higher rent, bigger mortgage, the car payment, the daycare, the gym. Suddenly your fixed costs eat your variable freedom. The flexibility a salary should buy disappears into automatic withdrawals. That is when the strange feeling begins quietly. You earn more than ever and feel less free than before. Pause here for just a moment with me. Picture the version of you from 5 years ago hearing this salary. That earlier, you would be genuinely stunned. They would assume current you is calm, secure, and finally free. Now ask yourself something honestly in the comments below. What did you believe a 6-figure income would feel like? Share that quietly with the next person reading this. Someone scrolling tonight needs to know they're not alone. Then come back here, because the next part is where the chase finally starts making real sense. Here is the part that keeps you running endlessly. The status game is about safety and belonging. When you spend at this level, you rarely buy the object. You are buying membership in a tribe. A certain car says you are doing fine. A certain zip code says your kids will be okay. A certain bag says you belong here too. A certain school says you made it the right way. A certain watch says your time is valuable. A certain dinner reservation says you are quietly thriving here. Underneath every status purchase is a quiet sentence. Please do not see me as who I fear becoming. That sentence is genuinely ancient inside your body. Long before money, humans needed the tribe to survive it all. Exile from the tribe once meant real danger. Your nervous system still remembers that and still feels it. So belonging signals never feel optional inside you. They feel like oxygen even when they cost most of your paycheck. Looking like you belong is not vanity. It is your body trying to keep you safe in the room. When you upgrade the car you do not need, you are not weak. You are answering an old survival question. The problem is, the answer never finishes itself. Each upgrade quiets the fear briefly, then it returns hungrier. Now mix in the comparison layer carefully here. You are not comparing your full life to their full life. You are comparing your insides to their outsides. That comparison was never fair and never going to feel honest. You know your own overdraft fees intimately by now. You know last Tuesday's tense conversation about the credit card. You do not know any of theirs at all. You see the renovation, the trip, the curated Sunday photograph. You never see their late-night money panic either. You never see the argument behind the smiling vacation photo. So you measure your messy interior against their polished exterior. Of course you feel behind. The deck was stacked. And the feed itself never sleeps either. Every scroll installs a new reference point and a new shape of arrival. You do not even notice it happening anymore. You feel a low hum of inadequacy following you home. Now add the family layer onto all that. Many six-figure earners hold up parents, siblings, and kids simultaneously. The unspoken loans nobody quite calls loans. The covered dinners. The school costs paid without much real discussion. The emergency that quietly becomes your emergency too, because you are the one who is technically able to handle it. This is love, and it is also weight. Your paycheck is not just yours, it belongs to a small constellation. No budgeting app ever captures this layer well. No spreadsheet has a column for the quiet expectations surrounding you. Then there is the childhood layer underneath everything. How money felt at home still lives inside your adult body. If money felt scarce back then, abundance feels suspicious now. You earn more and brace for it being taken. If money felt chaotic in childhood, control feels essential. You hoard, overplan, and cannot enjoy a normal Saturday. If money felt like love at home, spending becomes proof. Saying no to a purchase feels like self-rejection. If money felt shameful at home, success now feels guilty. You hide your number even from yourself sometimes. None of this is broken inside you anywhere. These are intelligent adaptations from a younger you making sense of things, but they run silently in adult financial decisions today. The paycheck arrives and a 10-year-old decides spending. This is why advice alone does not fix it. You can know the math and still feel the old story. The treadmill runs on feelings, not on facts. That is why pure willpower keeps failing you again and again. You are not undisciplined at all, really. You are outrunning an emotional engine using a logical map. That approach was never going to actually work. Logic does not beat feeling at feeling's own quiet game. Here's the freeing turn in all of this. Once you see the engine, you stop fighting yourself entirely. The first shift is small, but very real. You stop asking, can I afford this, completely. You start asking, what am I trying to feel right now? That single question interrupts the autopilot completely. Suddenly, the purchase competes with naming a feeling. Many purchases quietly lose that contest on their own. You begin to notice your own patterns clearly. The expensive cart appears after a hard meeting or a certain post. You are not weak in those moments at all. You are tired, lonely, anxious, or quietly unseen tonight. The cart simply offers you a very fast answer. Once you see the pattern, you can answer differently. A walk, a call, a meal, a rest, a real conversation with someone who actually knows your interior. The second shift is even quieter than that. You define enough for yourself before the world defines it. What does an ordinary good day look like? Not a highlight day. A Tuesday you would honestly call full. Most people never answer that question on purpose. They inherited an answer from feeds and called it ambition. When you write your own answer, the treadmill loosens. You can still want more, but more stops being boss. The third shift is about reference groups quietly. You choose who influences your sense of normal life. You do not have to unfollow everyone today. You notice which accounts leave you anxious and shopping afterward. You curate the air you breathe in daily. Same income feels like plenty or poverty depending on your mental room. The fourth shift is the hardest and most freeing. You let yourself be quietly fine without announcing it. The most financially peaceful people often look ordinary. The old car, the simple watch, the unremarkable house. They opted out of the broadcast entirely. Their money quietly funds a life that actually feels like theirs. You can join them whenever you decide to today. There is no application, just a slow turning down of volume. None of this means you stop wanting nice things. Wanting is human, and beauty is not the enemy of peace. It just means the wanting stops driving you. You drive, and wanting becomes a passenger you can hear. Imagine your next raise arriving into this version. Instead of automatic upgrades, there is a pause and a real choice. Some of it expands your life on purpose now. Some stays put and quietly becomes the freedom you wanted. That is what stepping off the treadmill looks like. Not dramatic. Not minimalist, just yours, with eyes finally open. You are allowed to feel rich at this income because you stopped measuring against the constantly moving line above. You are allowed to keep some money quietly invisible. Not every dollar needs to perform belonging or arrival. You are allowed to disappoint the imagined audience too. The neighbors, the algorithm, the cousin who always comments. Their approval was never going to feel like enough. Only your own quiet sense of enough can finish that. If any of this landed honestly, breathe one small breath. Not a fix, just a moment of honesty with yourself. You are not behind anyone watching this at all. You are inside a well-designed game most are silently losing. Seeing the game clearly is half the freedom. The other half is gently choosing to live slightly off script. If this video felt like someone finally saw the gap, leave a quiet comment so others feel less alone. Tell us what you thought six figures would feel like, and what it actually feels like on a normal Tuesday. If you want more conversations like this one, subscribe and turn on the bell for the next one. You do not have to run any faster ever. You can slow down and discover you are already enough.